As crazy as it may sound, it's an idea that just sprung into mind when I was laying in bed, dozing and trying to fall asleep. Hello and welcome to another Doctor Who video here on my channel. In today's video, we're doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be reviewing every single Doctor Who story on the Doctor Who 50th anniversary Monopoly board. Yes, that's right, you heard me correctly, Monopoly. As crazy as it may sound, it's an idea that just sprung into mind when I was laying in bed, dozing and trying to fall asleep. So with that being said, let's dive straight in and have a look at what stories we're going to be reviewing, and I can tell you now that they are indeed a combination of both classic and new series stories. So all of you that are familiar with Monopoly, of course, this is the Doctor Who variant, and we're going to be starting on Old Kent Road. So we're going to be travelling back in time to the 1960s for the Ice Warriors, and then fast forward a few years into the Curse of Peladon. And then, moving over to the blues, of course, we have Spearhead from Space, Terror of the Autons, and Rose. Then if we scoot past jail, no one wants to go there, we get to the Time Warrior, the Two Doctors, and the Poison Sky. Flash forward across to the Oranges, of course, then we have Doctor Who and the Silurians, the Warriors of the Deep, and A Good Man Goes to War. Now we jump ahead over free parking, one of my favourite places on the board, when there's money in the middle, of course. We get to the Claws of Axos, Survival, and The End of Time, Part 1. Now if we jump across over the platform of a train station, of course in the shape of a TARDIS, we move on to the 10th planet, Earthshock, and the Age of Steel. Go to jail? I don't think so, not this time. Now we move across to the Daleks, Genesis of the Daleks, and Victory of the Daleks. Take a chance by jumping over it, and we land on the last two, the Arc of Infinity and the End of Time, Part 2. Now, on first glance, these stories do seem pretty random. I'm not going to lie. We've got a mixture of classic and new series stories, like I mentioned at the beginning. So without further ado, let's take a look and review these great, or not so great, Doctor Who stories. So starting off with the story The Ice Warriors, of course, from the 1960s. Here's a little synopsis. The TARDIS arrives on Earth in a new ice age. The travellers make their way into a base where scientists, commanded by leader Klent, are using an ionizer device to combat the advance of a glacier. A giant humanoid creature called an Ice Warrior by one of the scientists has been found buried in a nearby glacier. When thawed, it revives and is revealed to be Varga, captain of the Martian spacecraft that landed on Earth centuries ago and is still in the glacier. Varga sets about freeing his comrades and formulating a plan to conquer the Earth. Mars itself is now dead. The scientists realise that continued use of the ionizer could make the ship's engines explode. Their computer is unable to advise them without more information. Disaster seems imminent. The disaffected scientist Penley, supported by the Second Doctor, decides to risk activating the ionizer. There is only a minor explosion which destroys the Martians and at the same time checks the ice flow. Now, I actually have quite fond memories of this story. I quite like it. I think it's one of those stories, but it's pretty decent. Now, it does suffer, unfortunately, with a missing episode here and there, but that being said, it's still very enjoyable, and you can use the Telesnap reconstruction that has been very kindly included on the DVD. Now, personally, I think the Ice Warriors are one of the stronger villains, or enemies, of the Second Doctor's era. I think they're fantastic and kind of wish they featured more than they really did in a classic series anyway, and of course the new series. Something that always stands out in my mind is Victoria Waterfield's scream. The actress Deborah Watlin absolutely nails this scream, and I'm surprised, to be honest with you, that the set didn't just crumble to the floor. It was that high pitched. So do let me know in the comments down below as we go along through this video. Do you enjoy the Ice Warriors? Let me know. What is your rating? I personally highly rate the Ice Warriors, a solid block of ice, in an 8.5 out of 10. Now we roll ahead to the Third Doctor's era, and this time we land on the Curse of Peladon, the first of two great stories featuring the planet Peladon. The Doctor and Joe make a test flight in the TARDIS and arrive on the planet Peladon. Seeking shelter, they enter the citadel of a soon-to-be crowned King Peladon, where the Doctor is mistaken for a human dignitary summoned to act as a chairman of a committee assessing an application by the planet to join the Galactic Federation. Now, The Curse of Peladon is another fantastic story. If you haven't seen it, I would highly recommend it, not only because you see the Ice Warriors for the very first time in colour, but they do seem to be kind of good guys in this story, which is kind of strange to see after having seen them be enemies to the Doctor in previous stories. Of course, the Ice Warriors as aforementioned, and also the great story, The Seeds of Death. Being only 4 episodes long, this story is quite fast paced, and it also introduces us to Agador, which is actually quite a cool creature in my opinion. So what do you guys think? Is The Curse of Peladon a hit or a miss? I personally think it's a hit, and I'll give it an 8 out of 10. So as of time of recording, I've realised that this is going to be one hell of a long video, so what I've decided to do is cut it down into sections. Of course, we've covered just 2 stories so far, so if you've enjoyed it, please do smash that thumbs up button. I love to see those thumbs flashing up on my screen, and please also leave a comment down below. Do you enjoy the stories that I've mentioned in this video? And if you've enjoyed this video, then let me know, and I will release part 2 of this fantastical adventure across the Doctor Who Monopoly board. I'll see you all again very soon. Take care. Goodbye for now.
There's no point in being grown up if you can't be childish sometimes.
Thank you to everyone for watching another one of my Doctor Who videos. I fucking love you all. I do want to say a massive thank you to my VIP patrons of Mark Thomas, Chris TJ, Sammy the Dalek and Ben Taylor. And also thank you so much to all of my other patrons: Cybershade1, Boston Stew, Ryan Costa, Dalek Boss, Jeff316, James Griffin, Andrew23, Third Dr. John, Tiny Tower Kid, Flawless Reactor, Time Kid 88, Cyber Daleks, Gary Humbert, Simon Taylor, Penny and Amber, Samson Cole and Bev Richards. Thank you all so much for your contributions. You guys are helping keep this channel alive.